right. Very hot out today. Very, very hot. Nothing new there. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to all those who are joining me. Today we're going to have a little chat once again on the subject of Sin Sod. And there's a reason why I'm bringing it up. There's a couple of reasons. One, because I saw an article from a few months ago where a woman actually paid the man the Sin Sod. And then another one because there was a question. I just happened to be looking at the Thai news, and I saw in a forum that a foreigner is concerned because of his somewhat greedy or I don't know what you want to call it, overly business-like mother-in-law, and so he doesn't know what to do. Let me finish up here. I'm trying to get straightened up. Already sweating my ass off. You know, the mall doesn't turn on the air conditioning until like 10 o'clock. So the Starbucks is always hot when you come in. But today it's an especially hot day. The feel-like temperature at the moment is 97 degrees. And the humidity is 64%. So pretty warm out, sweltering. The Thai baht is 34.17 to the dollar. The air quality index is 88. The temperature is actually 88 degrees. High of 93, low of 82. There's a 50% chance of rain. It has been raining every day. But you know, Thailand, sometimes it only rains for 15 minutes. But it's been raining for an hour or two every day. And I kind of like that. You can look forward to it, and it's kind of peaceful. Winds easterly, 8 miles an hour, and like I said, 34.17 to the Thai baht, dollar to the Thai baht, which is okay. I thought it was going to be, from what I was told, my sources had told me that it's going to be somewhere around 35, 36 at the end of this month. So we'll see how things go. But like I said, we're going to be talking about the Sin Sod. And it's always an interesting subject because it combines the best of both worlds, money and women. I mean, aside from food and toilets or restrooms, whatever you want to call it, how much is there really in life that you are overly concerned with that don't relate to those subjects? You know, family, okay, yeah, but you know, usually there's women involved in the family. There's always food involved, and there's always money involved. So the subject is, I always find it quite interesting. And you know, it really breaks down to one thing, and that's how you want to spend your money. But that's not always easy when your heart is involved. Now, it's easy for me because I'm already married. It's easy for some people because they're already married and they're already set in their ways, and things are fine. But for guys who are just coming over here and for whatever reason, they're looking to be married. Now, this particular guy, I think he said he's been with his girlfriend for 4 years. So, all right, you know, he's put the time in, she's put the time in. They obviously know each other, but they don't know each other that well because there's a dilemma between them. But before I go on any further, do me a favor. Smash the like button if you like the channel, if you like the the stream, the videos, whatever it might be. I haven't really been concentrating all that much on the channel for the last couple of weeks because I've been involved in a couple different things, but I will be starting up again. I'll start focusing a little bit more. But click the like button. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. And what else? Well, look down in the description for all the ways you can help support the channel. The easiest way is just to click the join button down below the video window. I'm trying to reach 50 YouTube members. I'm at 38 right now. It fluctuates every once in a while. Goes 37, 38, 36, 39. We're at 38 right now, so I'd like to get to 50, hopefully by the end of the year. So just click the join button if you want to help support the channel, or there's other ways down below in the description. And without further ado, let's just get past all that bullshit and let's just go on. Hello to everybody. Maybe I can. There goes. Today we have the manager, Mr. Ken, and we have Miss Beer working. Those are your, good morning, Aaron. Those are your Starbucks barista. I was here yesterday. There was some new guy here. You know, whatever. I haven't seen any new girls here. When I remember, I bring my little Starbucks cup because they give you 10 baht off, and their coffee's expensive enough. Considering the quality of coffee, which is average at best, but it's consistently average. So I brought my little Starbucks cup. You get 10 baht off. Bring your own cup. Bring your own glass. You get a little discount. So anyway, what brings me to this subject again? Because I have no concerns about Sin Sod for myself. There is a concern with my kids. I don't know how that's going to work, but they'll work it out, I'm sure. One day they may get married. I don't know. We'll see. But let me see here if I can get to this role reversed. All right. Before I get into that, though, I wanted to read this little paragraph that I found on the Tiger in their forum. I saw a couple of messages and I decided to click. It leads you down the rabbit hole. But I'm going to read this to you here. Nothing leaves a poor memory of a great holiday than being blatantly ripped off by a taxi driver. Agreed. I got picked up at the Landmark on Sukhumvit at 5 a.m. this morning. I asked why his meter was covered over and the availability light stayed green. He'd muttered something in Thai, then said no English. All right, right there, the guy made a mistake. Sorry to say. Big mistake. All you have to do is say meter, and point at the meter. And if the guy doesn't want to take off the whatever's covering it up, you go, stop. I want out. And you get out. It's that simple. You say meter. They understand meter. They're not stupid. Okay? They say that in Thai as well as in English. I should have got out then. Yes, you should have. But did not want to be late for my flight. Well, one of the first things you learn is when you get in the taxi, the guy has to immediately turn on the meter. Now, I've had guys where I got in here at the mall, and they don't want to turn on the meter right away. Or they just forget or whatever. But I don't let them forget. I'm like, hey, turn your meter on. Because, I know how much it is to go home, which is where I'm usually going from the mall. It's about 50 baht. It used to be 40, now it's 50, but okay. I don't want them go, 100 baht. No, I don't want to dick around with that. You know, this is the thing. If you live here, even if you're traveling here, most people just go, it's $2. I'm not going to get into a big stink about it. But I live here. And if I let everybody who wanted to rip me off, I'd be out of a fair amount of money. And not only that, why should I let them do that? You can look at it from another standpoint. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll go home, and if it's, say, 53 baht on the meter, and I give them 60 baht, if they even reach for the change, don't worry about it, keep the change. But if they sit there, if it's like 51 baht, usually you just give them 50 and that's enough. But if it's like 51 baht and they don't even reach for the money, and then it's like, hey, where's my 9 baht? Because I don't know, it's just a principle, and I wouldn't recommend getting into a big argument or a fight. Things happen, and even over a small amount of money, people can get seriously hurt, so it's not really worth it. But anyway, let me just continue here. Then he proceeded to drive at between 120 to 150 kilometers an hour constantly, even in the 90 zones. I asked him to slow down, but again, no English. Got to the airport where he demanded 500 baht. I threw 300 baht at him and things got heated, so I called security. All of a sudden, he accepted my more than generous offer. I do have a question though, where or who do I write to bring this to light? The cab company is the tourist board? No, it's the Department of Land Transport. And the hotline is 1584. Now they used to have a little app that you could write in, and you would write in English, and it was fantastic. And then all of a sudden, it just disappeared. They don't have it anymore. Or last I looked, they don't have it. So, but yeah, I mean, the bottom line is this is not a difficult thing. The most difficult thing sometimes is in the rain, or if a taxi just doesn't want to pick you up. They just go, no. You tell them where you want to go, and they go, And I had it happen to me. I was at the Indra Regent Hotel a couple of weeks ago. It's down in Pratu Nam. I get into a taxi because I expect them to go. I expect them to turn their meter on. If they don't, it's like sayonara, or jerk and mai, if you will. And so, the first guy, no, he finds out where I want to go, which is right down the street. I just didn't want to walk, it was hot as hell. It was a 5-minute drive. I said to the guy, no, traffic. And I go, what the fuck? I said, fine. I get out of the taxi, I close the door, go to the next guy. He tells me, no, I don't want to go. So, they're looking, this is what they do. They look for some guys, not all of them, because, there's a lot of good taxi drivers out there, face it. Whether you like it or not, there are some good taxi drivers out there, nice guys, good people. But once in a while, you get the prick. So I get to the second one, and the guy's like, no, I don't want to go there. I'm like, why not? You're available. You need to go. Now, I could have, written in. I could have done all kinds of stuff, got the guy in trouble, maybe. Is it really worth the time? No, it's not. So I went to the next step, the third one. I get in, and he goes, what's that guy's problem? He asked me, what's the problem? I go, the guy doesn't want to go. And he said, okay, no money for me. I said, okay, good. That's the thing, The guys who want the money, they're not going to sit around on their ass and just wait for a guy who's going to give them a, 500 baht fare or something like that. So, anyway, let's get on that subject here of the Sin Sod. Okay, this is it right here. Okay. Boy, a lot of comments. Everybody's got an opinion about Sin Sod. Same with, tipping. It's like tipping. Should you tip? Well, in Thailand, you're not required to tip. It's not expected that you tip. But a tip goes a long way, especially in certain situations. It's like. All right, so this guy writes in, "Hey, I'm new to this forum, but I am hoping I can hear some advice. Please allow me to explain my situation. I met my Thai wife in Japan, and this is where we currently live. After 4 years of dating, I proposed to her, and then 1 year later, we got married purely in the legal sense at City Hall in Tokyo. We are hoping to have an actual wedding in Thailand after COVID has calmed down." Well, this is back in February, all right? After 4 years of that, okay. Now I need to be clear. I was made aware of the dowry before we got married, and my understanding of it was that it would cost somewhere around 3,000 pounds, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what, about 4,500 US dollars, something like that. Let me see, 3,000. Let's see here. It's quite a bit less than that. It's $3,787, or approximately about a little more than 129,000 baht. Okay, so that's a fair chunk of money. It's not huge, but my understanding was that it would cost somewhere around 3,000 pounds, and it typically is given back, and it's more of a symbolic gesture. Not always. So we offered a dowry of 3,000 pounds. My wife's mother rejected the offer and started demanding upwards of 12,000 pounds. My wife informed me of this, and I was at a loss for words. Simply put, I don't have that kind of money. After some discussion, my wife was able to lower the dowry to 6,000 pounds. This is better, but still very high, as we need money for our future. All right, let me see something here. Got 33 people here. No one's saying a word. What's going on, guys? Come on. Are you just listening, or you have no fingers to type with? Let me see here. Where's my... Oh, I already put it away here. Let's see. So 6,000 pounds would be about $7,500, 260,000 baht. Regardless of the money, hey Tony, how you doing? Sawadee Kap. Regardless of the money, I am also upset by the attitude on display by my wife's mother. That is never a good thing. Now, I will say that when my wife and I got together and her mother found out about us, the first words out of her mouth, or at least the first words I remember, were, "Oh my God, my daughter is with a Farang." And I was like, I'm standing right in front of her, She didn't speak, my Thai was decent, and I understood what she was saying, but she didn't speak any English. Her mother didn't speak any English. So 260,000. Well, it really depends on, the specifics of the girl, which he hasn't given yet. But he's upset by the display by the attitude on display by his wife's mother, which that's not a good thing. Now, I will say that, like in my case, her mother came around, it was slow, but she came around, she realized that, this was not some little fleeting thing, and this was something that was serious. And obviously now we've been married for 22 years, something like that. We've been together for, I don't even know now. I gotta sit down and figure it out. I can't remember off the top of my head. Let's see here. Every time we talk, all she wants to talk about is the money and when we will pay. She doesn't care about the fact we are married. She hasn't congratulated us once. It really does feel as if she only sees me as some cash cow. Well, what I will say is that, you don't expect a lot of emotion from Thais. You can't expect emotion from them because they're not really emotive people. Yeah, they can get emotional. They can get, they can get very angry. They're willing to show that pretty quickly. But they, when it comes to happiness and that kind of thing, her mother might have been so pissed off at the daughter for getting married without saying anything to her that, it just completely turned her off to the whole marriage. So that's something else. But let me go on here. Different cultures, I get it. But still, this is a huge issue that is dividing my wife and I. She has told me that she disagrees with the amount and wishes we didn't need to pay it, but she still argues that it is a major part of Thai culture and that we can't escape it. I am not against paying some form of dowry, but I am upset by the huge amount and the attitude in which my wife's mother is asking for it. Now, there's a couple of things. I'm going to assume this guy's a little bit younger because 260,000 baht. I mean, yeah, it's a chunk of money. It's a fair chunk of money. But it's not huge by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm going to say he's probably, a younger guy in his 20s or 30s. And he's trying to build up a life with his wife. I don't know why he wouldn't have money if he's working in Tokyo, although maybe he's spending all the money he makes just to live comfortably. I don't know. But the bottom line is that really 260,000 baht, I don't know if it's fair in this instance. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, oh, well, this is completely appropriate because I don't know the specifics of the woman. But that's not a huge amount of money by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, millions are paid. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands are paid. 260,000, this is a middle-class girl, you would think. I don't know, though. The way that the mother is acting sounds like she's a little bit desperate or greedy. Let's see here. I was not against paying some for the dowry, but okay. Am I in the wrong? Question. This is a question. Should I just suck it up? My wife's sister is also constantly asking for money, and this is draining my wife's and my resources very quickly. Okay. Here's the thing. They're already married. And the wife needs to be on his side and stand up for her husband. If she's not going to, then she's not much of a wife. I mean, I hate to put it that way. Because, when the sister starts coming, listen, they say, oh, well, you're not marrying, and I saw this in this should work now. All right, so we're back. Hopefully we'll be back for the rest of the stream. Okay, so where do we leave off here? TJ Riley says, better to pay it and clear the air. No, it's not better to pay it, in my opinion. It's not better, and there's a reason why it's not better. Because if you give in, and you continue to give the wife's sister money, you're setting a precedent. you're saying whenever they want, they can negotiate, they can get something out of you, instead of you laying down the boundaries and saying, this is what you get, and that's it, period. And the wife needs to be willing, you need to be on the same page with the wife. I would not even give the 6,000. I would be like, no, sorry. You stick to your guns. Or, you know, what you could do is say, okay, I'll give you the 6,000, but you have to give me 3,000 back. But that's not the way to deal with it. And if she's got an attitude about it now, then she's going to get pissy anytime she needs money. She's going to get pissy and start, you know, start going after you for money. Oh, God. Listen, I can tell you, you know, you may be right. When they're trying it on you, you might not give the money. I understand that. Well, Soy Dog Cowboy, I don't believe he's looking to get married. So I don't think that's going to apply to him. If you try it, find some girl who loves her family and who her family says, we need this much money. We need 200,000 baht, 300,000 baht, something fairly reasonable by modern standards. And try saying, no, I'm not going to pay it, and see what happens. If the girl stays with you and tells the family to piss off, well, you know, I would expect some problems from the family in the future, and possibly problems with the girl, but I would say, okay, well, she's willing to make a stand. But in this case, I think, you know, the guy hasn't really laid out the specifics. I mean, she could be quite studied and accomplished. I don't know. But if, you know, if she's some chick who's got a kid or two, then it's like, what are you talking about, honey? Baby, no, it ain't gonna work. You need to stand up, and you need to be willing. You need to be willing to let the girl go. That's what it boils down to. But the other thing is that it is your money. Whatever you want to do with it, you can do with it. My only rule, really, for people would be, don't spend more than you can afford. If you're forking over 500,000 and that's every penny you have, every satang you have, and then you know, you got nothing left. Well, what's the point of that? I mean, that's not very bright, in my opinion. You can't afford it. You go, listen, I'll give you 250. That way we have some money in the bank. It is their culture. I will get to this in a minute. It's their culture. It's not your culture. You know, some would argue, well, you're getting married here. You're marrying a Thai, so you need to embrace their culture just as they need to embrace yours. Now, try saying to them, in my culture, the father of the bride pays the bill for the wedding. See what happens. Okay? So there needs to be some happy medium. Now, the one thing that, and I said this the other day, it's about getting involved with a woman who is in such dire poverty that her family is relying on her to support them, and they have nothing, and they're looking at you as the golden goose. You know, talk to some guys I know, they'll tell the Thai family to pay them some money. Yeah, okay. Tell me how many guys that's happened where it worked. All right, really. Andrew, I'm not saying that you're wrong. What I'm saying is that you better be prepared to lose your girl in many cases. And if that's okay with the person, then that's okay. I understand the need to stand up for yourself and stick to your guns. It's important. However, you are part of their culture, and if you're living here, especially, you are married to them. They have to. If you're getting married in the village and you're putting on a wedding party and that kind of thing, who the hell do you think's going to pay for it? It needs to be you paying for it. They're not going to pay for it. That's not their culture. They're not going to do it. You can go to them. Oh, we'll pay for the wedding party. Pay for the wedding. And they're going to go, well, we don't do that in our culture. And you go, yeah, but I do in my culture. They're going to be like, so, you can go back and forth with that dilemma for ages. I mean, where are you going to go? You're going around in circles. There has to be some compromise. So that's something to think about. But let me continue reading this. Different cultures, I get it, blah, blah, blah. Am I in the wrong? I love my wife, I really do. Here's something else. She is currently pregnant with our first child. I want us to be able to provide a good life for our child, but at this rate, I am worried we simply won't be able to afford anything. Thank you for letting me vent, if nothing else. All right. So this is another issue. She's pregnant. Now, one thing this guy just doesn't seem to get is they're already married. I'm sure the wife doesn't want to divorce. If anybody in the village finds out that she's married, the village, the mother, the family probably doesn't want the village to think, oh, she divorced the foreigner. Although I'm going to say that in many cases, the wife, if she was to divorce the guy, the mother would simply say, the Farang, he's a Kiniao. He doesn't want to pay any money. That's what they would do. And then it would be okay. The average wedding costs $40 here in Australia. Lots of couples opting out nowadays. Shit. Yeah, I mean, listen, I've never understood the whole, I want the wedding of my dreams. I just saw that Kourtney Kardashian got married to some guy, I forget the guy's name. And they got married in Italy in some dream wedding. And I'm like, dream wedding? Now, they got plenty of money, apparently. Supposedly, they're extremely wealthy. So for them, dropping $1 million is probably not a big deal. It's like a little shindig. But like for most people, listen, me and my wife, we went down to the Ampur and we went to the Ampur, we registered the marriage, we got married. And when we went home to her hometown, we had a little bit of a party for the close family. And I can tell you that if you get involved with somebody who has nothing and is a taker, like they will take, and the mother is like that. Maybe the girl is not like that, but she doesn't want to stand up to her mother because she's scared. And she respects her mother, she respects her family. If that kind of thing happens where they're taken all the time, well, it's up to you to put your foot down and say no. And I can tell you, I was with a girl once in Udon Thani, and I still remember this. And we had gone out to a dinner, and there was like 7 people, 8 people, and I paid for it. It was like 2,000 baht. And I didn't have a problem with it. I thought, you know what? This doesn't happen all the time. The girl's a good chick. I'm not going to worry about it. I paid the money. So then we stopped off. We got a couple of, we got like a little bottle of whiskey. And I would not generally live this way anymore. I would not do these things. We stopped and got some beer, and it was like, oh, we're going to have a big party and that kind of stuff. And then, like some guy says to me later on, this guy comes to me and goes, buy me a beer. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I don't know this guy. And the girl I was with told him, get out of here. He's not buying you a beer, But that's how they can be. And, you're looked at as being wealthy. And for some of them, they're not trying to take from you. They're just like, hey, you're part of the family, I'm part of the family. You have the money to get a beer, go get a beer for me. But what happens is they always want it. And so you need to, as long as you set some boundaries and they understand this, then generally people won't have problems. I know plenty of guys who they give their family, they give their wife's family some money, they help support them. And if you love your wife, maybe you'll go ahead and do that. If you got the funds, then you'll do that. I understand. It's not just, this is not the Thai thing that we're talking about. This is something worldwide where if, your family is in a bad way and you need to help your family, then you help them as best you can. Now, if they're, blowing it all on coke or something like that, or heroin, why would you do it? Hey, Jim, how you doing? Yeah, okay. Everybody's got an answer for it. I'll just bring my girl. Right. What if you don't want to live in your country? That's the thing. There's American guys coming over here, British guys coming over. They don't want to live back home. They want to live here. So what are you going to do? Now, what I would say is there are several things. There's several answers, ways around this, or approaches. If you are dead set on being with a girl and she just happens to be from a very poverty-stricken family, and let's face it, some girl, she comes out of the village, she starts working at a bank, she gets her little degree, she starts working at a bank. You meet her, she's out with her girlfriend shopping or whatever, you meet her and you start going out with her, boom, you're together. And you hook up with her, and then the talks turn towards marriage, and you find out her family is, really, really poor. Okay, I understand that. But if this is something like, you meet her in the bar, they're not working in the bar because they're brain surgeons, because they have a great job working at the best hospital in Bangkok. So a guy wrote in a long time ago, and the two words that he used, and I think they're very appropriate, are aim higher. If sometimes things happen and you get into a situation and the next thing you know, you're head over heels in love, she's in love with you, and it doesn't matter, your backgrounds are irrelevant. However, in Thailand, a lot of times that doesn't happen. People don't let it happen. They don't want it to happen. You don't see some guy who's running a Fortune 500 company ending up with some girl who's out in a rice field. It doesn't happen. They don't do it. That kind of thing is extremely rare, and you almost never, ever hear about it. For whatever reason. So, when I say aim higher, I'm not saying, oh, well, she's got to be a high-so girl. And, what I am saying, though, is that, make sure your girl has got an education. She's got a job. She's self-sufficient. And, talk to her. Learn about her family. Is her family, in a bad way? Looking in a bar is always a touchy subject, and it's always dicey. I mean, you never know what you're going to get. I mean, listen, I know guys who, they've gone into bars, they've met some girl, and the girl was fantastic. She'd been with one or two guys. She'd only been there a week or whatever, or she lied. But whatever, he ended up with her, and the girl turned out to be a fantastic girl. That happens once in a while. Occasionally that does happen. But for guys who don't know what they're doing, and this guy, I don't know why, but maybe he doesn't speak any Thai. I don't know. So Dalo, there you are. How's it going, Dalo? How's your trip so far? Dalo is here. Chucky will be here. I thought he was going to leave on the 3rd, but he's leaving on the, I think he's leaving on it's almost the 5th, and he comes on the 6th. So I probably won't see him for another week or so. But I do need to meet up with Chucky and see what's going on with him. He'll be here for a month, and then I think he's going to Europe. He still wants me to go to North Korea, which, you know, I'm not. I as much as nice as that is of him to go, you know, he's got frequent flyer miles and all that kind of stuff. That's really nice, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know that I want to go to North Korea. Something about North Korea, it just bugs me. Love the weather, left Melbourne at the start of winter. Yeah, it's a little warm out right now, but you know, it beats the cold for sure. Now, you know, this guy's got numerous responses already from this message that he sent, and he wrote. There was a little quote here that says, "It really does feel as if she only sees me as some sort of cash cow." So the response was, you wouldn't be the first one. The question is, how deep is your wife in the system? It sounds like she's in very deep, which can result, if you do not meet the family's expectations, that there will be a change forced later by the family to a better cash cow search of one. Or another way, sounds like you wouldn't be married already. If you wouldn't be married already, there would probably not be a wedding in Thailand. But are you certain that she demanded $12,000, now $6,000, and it wouldn't be returned? It doesn't sound like it. There's a lot of face involved to show money on ceremony day. That's why you skip the ceremony day if you can. Do you know the lifestyle of the family? How is their social status? Is the daughter sending money from Japan? What's her education, job? All these things are extremely important. Like a friend of mine once said, the best future Thai wife is an orphan with no siblings. I must know this guy because I did say that. The best way is you find a girl as an orphan. And I hate to say that because it does sound, you know, it's not very nice, but that's the truth. Because, you know, and same goes in the Philippines. You marry the girl, you marry the family. So you damn sure better know the family, and you damn sure better have a good family. Sounds cynical, but seems not only in Thailand often to be true. All right, so yeah, that's one response. Let me read some of these comments. Many of the wealthier, successful people up here have a family farm that they maintain. I would wager that most of the local farms are not owned by poor people. They are owned by success. Well, that's not always true, Jim. I mean, yeah, maybe, but there are plenty of people who have farms. They have a lot of land, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're wealthy, because if you know about the farming system, especially the rice farming, it's all dependent on what the market rate is, but it's also they harvest the crop and they get rid of it, and then they don't do anything for a couple of months. And so that's where the problems happen. If they don't have anything else to do, if they don't have any other ventures going on, then they may just be living off the proceeds, and that's what they do for the, you know, for the duration of their life. I have been to a few upper-level weddings. The stack of currency appears like a drug deal. Put shorts on a t-shirt after being rugged up in prison. Yeah, I was the last one that I've been to. It was set, and this was 10 years ago. It was 700,000 baht, and the guy didn't have the money. He had to borrow the money. And this was an educated girl. He gave her 700,000 baht. Now, let me see something here. Where's it at? If I can find it. What happened to that article about the guy? Let me see here. I want to make sure I have the right article. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, this is the same guy. I think. Let me see here. Hang on. Oh my God. Oh, I gotta read this in a minute. Hang on. All right, that's the one where the bride pays. Bride pays. What happened to the one with the guy who... Let me see here. Hang on a second. The contract that I have working on me is a rice farm. He makes a good side, but yeah. But you know, Jim, I know you see a lot of this. Maybe your area is a little bit more well off. But I mean, I've been in some areas of like Udon Thani and what's the other place? Not Konkan, Buridam. And I mean, these people, some of the people, they're living hand to mouth, man. I mean, they really are. And you know, they're busting their ass out on the farm basically just to be able to pay their bills. And some of it has to do with they don't know how to handle the money. You know, they go out and buy a freaking car they can't afford, or a truck they can't afford because they need a truck for whatever reason. But let me see here. What happened to that article? I don't know. Bottom drawer, ripped off again. Monkeypox, fascinating wedding. Role reversal, role reversal. Oh, let me see, maybe this is it. That wasn't it either. I don't know what happened to it. I'm sorry. So let's see here. My understanding of it was that it would cost somewhere around 3,000 pounds, and typically it was given back in more of a symbolic gesture. Regardless of the money, I'm also upset by the attitude on display by my wife's mother. Every time we talk, all she wants is to talk about the money and when we will pay. She doesn't care about the fact we are married. She hasn't congratulated us once. I wouldn't expect that. At least not from this particular woman. It really does feel as she sees me as a cash cow. I think that says a lot. It might be Thai culture to take some sort of token payment, and that's only if your wife was a virgin. How much would you be prepared to pay to buy your wife? That's what it boils down to, in my view. Not necessarily, but okay, I understand what he's saying. Speaking personally, when I met my wife, she had a son already. There was never any mention of a dowry, even though the only ceremony we had was a legal marriage years later. I went to a Thai wedding. There was a heap of money and other stuff for the bride's family. Is this just for show? Do they give it back after the ceremony? It really depends on the negotiations. There's not like one set formula for what you give, how they work it. Sometimes you give them the money and the family has a plot of land, and they sign a plot of land. They sign the deed over to the daughter. There's a lot of things that they do. They'll give back, half of it, a third of it, all of it. It really depends on the negotiations. Sometimes, 5 baht of gold is included in that. 10 baht of gold is included in it. Yeah, so if your wife was previously married, I wouldn't think, if anything, the only thing that would be asked for maybe is just to show something. She's married before. The village probably knew she was married. 100, even if you were like to show a 200,000 baht and then you got it all back, or you gave 200,000 baht and you got 150,000 back. That's reasonable. But when you got somebody going, oh no, we want what was it? How much did they want? What was this here? Let me see here. I can't even remember. 12,000 pounds. 12,000 pounds is a shitload of money just to be paying. You can use that. You know, they got a baby on the way. That could be used to deliver the baby. If they're in Tokyo, delivering a baby isn't going to come cheap. And I can tell you that, you know, after having 2 children delivered here, and this was 20 years ago, it still wasn't cheap. I mean, we had it done at Bumrungrad because we didn't want to. We wanted the best. And what was funny is that when Alex was born, my wife was in labor, and there was a huge thunderstorm. I mean, massive. It was, you know, with wind and heavy, heavy rain, and then all of a sudden, the lights went out while she's going through labor. And the doctor said, the generator will kick on in a few seconds. And sure enough, in 15 seconds, 20 seconds later, the generator turned on. The backup generator turned on, and we were okay. You know, but we didn't want that kind of thing happening somewhere else where we were. In my nephew's case, he paid a huge dowry. The in-laws used the money to build the coffee shop he and his wife own now. See, so you know, a good family. And I'm not saying that if they take all the money and just keep it for themselves, they're not a good family. That may be the case. They may be dirt poor. It may be because they've been, you know, fell on hard times. Their crop didn't come true for 2-3 years in a row. It didn't work out for whatever reason it was. You know, things happen. But I'm talking about overly greedy. And I can tell you that in Udon, there was a time I went to a girl's house, and the house wasn't built. The floor wasn't completely built. It was a house up on, you know, elevated off the ground, and as many houses are there in Isan. And there was a hole in the floor. Basically, was not complete, and one side of the wall, a whole wall, was not complete. It was just they were living in a house that wasn't finished. And it was going to take like $1 million baht with the wood and everything and the construction to get everything finished. And the girl was like, "Can you pay this?" And I was like, "Fuck no. Why would I pay that? Why would I do that? Let your family take care of it." I'm like, "I'm not doing that." I didn't know her that well. I was just banging her, you know? It was like, luckily, my wife's family never asked for money, but we help out with her niece's education and other stuff to help out. It's not a terrible idea if you get something in return, like a huge chunk of land, but if they're going to take it all and you get nothing, forget about it. Again, it depends on how much money you have, and if you don't mind, it's somebody, whoever's money it is, that's really what matters. It's my money. It's 200,000 baht. I'm going to give it. Now, if you only have 200,000 baht and you end up broke, or you have 100,000, you got to borrow the 100,000 to get the 200,000, and then she leaves you the next day, which is, I read an article the other day about a guy who he scraped up 300,000 baht to marry some chick that he had known for 10 days, and the next day after the wedding, which she did not have sex with him, they never consummated the marriage. Gennaro, hey, how you doing? They never consummated the marriage, and she ran off with, I can't remember how it worked, but it was her sister who was married to the guy's friend. She ran off. Well, I mean, you know, the way I look at it with houses, and, you know, we're in the market for a house now. I mean, it's basically a done deal as far as we will be moving eventually into a house. We're going to buy a house. It's been for a while there. It was, you know, can we save money? Can we get to that point? And then it's, do we really want to move to certain areas? What are we going to do? Now we're prepared, but we really want to find a place that works for us. So hopefully by the end of this year, or in a year, no more than a year, we'll have a place of our own, and we'll do that. Now, the way that I look at it is that house is going to be in my wife's name. Do I care? No, I don't. Do I care? Would I really care if I lost all my stuff? Now, you know, aside from my cameras and my computers, I don't give a shit about furniture. I don't give a shit about any of this other stuff. I really don't care about it. You know, if she was just to go, okay, get out, you gotta go. We're done. What? What are you talking about? Okay, let me get my computer, let me get my cameras, I'm out of here. I'd be like, I gotta go. You know, okay. I mean, it would suck, but that's life. Now, we would both be putting our money into this. So it's not like I'm going to lose everything. You know, like I'm not putting in 5 million baht into a house and, oh, I lost 5 million baht. That's not how it'll work. And it's not like I've been with her for 3 days and now she wants me to buy a house. You understand? And I also look at it as if things by chance were to go south, then at least she and the kids always have a place. You know, for me, I'm not worried. I don't have a concern in the fucking world about it, that stuff now. I'm not worried about it. I'll be fine. Just like, you know, I always say about the women, you know, like if you meet a girl and she's like, oh, but I really need you. I need your money. I need this. And she was fine before she met you. She'll be fine after she leaves your ass. Of course, we still get drunken calls from grandma asking for money to bail out some drunken uncle somewhere, but screw that. Yeah, that's not good, man. See, I get none of that. I get none of that. And I'm very, very thankful for that. I never have, you know, when we go places and stuff like that, it's, you know, if we want to go and they're driving, well then, you know, we pay for the gas. I mean, you know, that kind of thing. But they may go out and buy a bunch of food. Yeah, those are really good. I'm actually thinking about getting one right now, but I already had an espresso. Those are extremely tasty. Oh, could get one. I could get one right now, actually. All right, so let me continue here. Tell her, no, you cannot afford it. If you don't set boundaries now, it will most likely progress and you'll be giving out money forever. True, true. And now then a guy immediately responds and says, this is a massive generalization, an urban myth and often untrue. I paid a Sin Sod 25 years ago, and my wife's family have never asked for another penny. See, this is the thing. It's all anecdotal evidence. There's no studies that say this is how it worked out. This is how much was paid. There are no scientific studies. There is no scientific data, mass investigations into this stuff. There is none of that. So it's all anecdotal. You're always going to get a guy who goes, oh, well, that never happened with me. Just like me. You know. Really, I should have paid through the nose, and you know, to my wife's credit and to her family's credit, they were like, "Do you guys love each other?" Yes, we love each other. Okay, that's enough. You can't super chat in Thailand unless you use a VPN. Mr. Dallo. Yeah, speaking of super chats, I haven't had a super chat in like 3 streams. And you wonder why I don't want to stream as much anymore. I'm actually thinking about cutting the length of the streams. I've been saying this for a long time. But an hour to hour and 15 minutes seems a good amount of time. Today I'll probably go an hour and a half. I'll just do a regular stream like I always do. But I do want to cut back on the times, the length of time I'm streaming. Because I've gotten a bit busier. And I got other things to do, and I just can't be spending time doing this stuff. So, you want to hit the join button, hit the join button. You want to hit the super chat, hit the super chat. I'd appreciate it. It helps. And right now, my wife is in Vietnam. I should be getting some videos some clips at least from Vietnam, and when she comes back, supposedly we're going to go to Phuket, and that's middle of, well, it's almost next month, the middle of next month in about 2 weeks. Should be going there for at least 4 or 5 days. Why I'm going to go to Phuket? Well, really, because she's going and she doesn't have much work to do, and she just said, let's just make it a trip. So I said, okay. And then after that, we're going to go to the south. We've been wanting to go back. We need to go back. I want to go back to film the elephants out in the durian fields. And then I want to go to Trang and Satun. So she may not go with me to Trang and Satun, but I do want to go there. And you guys' contributions definitely help. So I'd appreciate it if you showed a little bit of the love. What else? I do need to go get my gimbal fixed. I just been too lazy to go all the way down to Central, which is, you know, an hour away. I just been too lazy to go there. You know, I don't like sitting in traffic anymore. Man, I wish they would finish up this SkyTrain so I could enjoy it while we're still here. Anyway, let me continue. Here's what I like right here. So he said, I paid Sin Sod 25 years ago. My family has never asked for another penny. They also gave back 80% on the wedding day. It's horses for courses and depends on the family's financial circumstances, your finances, your future wife's attitude and opinion, and your sensitivity to her culture. I don't think it has to do with about being sensitive. Because what about her sensitivity to your culture? I think you have to be understanding of one another's culture. And you need to understand that you both have ways that your families expect you to conduct yourselves. And threading that needle, walking that fine line is something that is not always easy to do. The mother, so here's another comment. The mother can demand all she wants, but it's up to you to set the amount. It seriously sounds to me like the mother has no intention of refunding the money, so give up that hope. Sin Sod depends on a lot of factors. Was she married before? Does she have kids? Has she been sending money every month? My Thai ex-wife. Where's my thing? Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
You want to say hello?
Hello. Good morning.
What do you got on your head there? You look like Minnie Mouse.
Minnie Mouse.
Minnie Mouse?
Yes. Minnie Mouse now again.
You like Minnie Mouse? Chop, mate. What happened to my... You know what? Can I have a salted caramel? You have? Oh, yeah, okay. 120 huh? Okay. Okay, John. Yeah, there we go. Very good. No super chats. Not Mark. Ugh. She clapped her hands. His name is Gennaro, and he is waiting for you. ไม่สวยใช่ไหม okay. พอดี I said, you're not beautiful, though. Because yesterday she was saying, am I beautiful? Am I beautiful? Okay. ทำอร่อยนะ She's waiting for you, Gennaro. She still swears she's single. I don't believe her, though. You know, that's another thing. Take everything with a grain of salt. Don't be too serious. All right, so let me go on here. I'm losing my train of thought. I've got to stay focused here. And it definitely is up to the person who, you know, you're the man with the gold, man. You make the rules. That's as simple as that. And, you know, it's basically, you're a negotiator. And it's about how you can negotiate things. If the mother is just a greedy bitch who thinks that she needs to get a certain amount, and she's not gonna fluctuate, she's not gonna change at all how she thinks. You know, she's gonna be, I want 1,000,000 baht, and you're like, wait a minute, but your daughter has 3 kids. You know, I mean, you're not gonna get anywhere. You can't negotiate with somebody who isn't willing to negotiate. Very difficult to do that. So, my Thai ex-wife, I paid 150,000 baht, which the grandmother gave back half. The other half went mostly to pay for the huge molam band with dancers, the cow they slaughtered for the party, and all the alcohol. Ultimately, if you can't afford it, your wife should already know that and be considerate. If you have no intention of living in Thailand, then why care about the village and what they'll think of you? Yeah, I mean, you know, this is the thing. It's all about it's all about face. This guy says, I would not kowtow to the demands as they stand, and your wife should support you. Yeah, this is another thing that is something that people underestimate, and that is how important the family is. And it does boil down to how traditional is your wife's family, how traditional is your family. You know, if one thing that I have looked for before. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Right, man.
Very good.
Very good.
อันนี้เลย so delicious
Delicious. Very delicious.
delicious
Ah, your English is English. I'm teaching you English. You're getting very good. There we go. This is a little bit different, but this one is. They have a special now. It's 120 baht, which is like less than $3, and you get there's like there's 12 drinks you can choose from. There you go. It's good. What was I saying? Oh yeah, underestimating. You know, if you hook up with some chick and she's always going to the temple and she's always talking about her mother and how she needs to go see her mother or she needs to send home money to her mother, you know straight away that that's the lifestyle you're going to be involved with. I've said this to many people, and I've said this to my kids. When you get involved with a woman, you need to remember, you're letting them into your life, and you're giving them access to things that maybe you don't want them having access to. You're also involved in their life as much as they allow you in, but you are involved in their life. Your lives are intertwined. And so that might mean that they expect certain things from you. So you need to find all that. That's why I always say to these guys, don't get involved and just think, oh, I love her. Oh, you know, because you cracked the biggest nut you've ever cracked in your life. You've had the best sex you ever. That does not constitute a long-term marriage. I mean, that's part of it, but you know, that's not everything. Well, I would not say every mother is a mama-san. They have the potential to be, and every man has the right to say, I ain't paying shit. Now, in this one case, the roles were reversed, and the Thai bride paid 12.8 million baht as a dowry And they had their wedding at the Konkan Convention Center. Instead of paying a dowry himself, the 33-year-old groom received $2 million in cash, 500,000 baht worth of jewelry, a 5-rai land title deed valued at over 500,000 baht, a 7 million baht house, and a 2.8 million BMW Series 3 car from his 33-year-old bride, Beilu. Beilu has many business ventures, including a successful restaurant in Konkan. When Beilu told her family of an idea to pay the dowry, they did not object. She says she is very lucky because Mickey has taken care, her husband Mickey, has taken care of everything throughout their relationship, adding that all I ask for is that we love each other. Mickey said he was delighted to be in love and added that when he found out Beilu wished to pay the dowry, he knew the wedding would be a very auspicious occasion indeed. Jim, nowadays the Thais are waiting longer to get married. So that's not all that unusual. I mean, beer is, I think she said she's 28. I don't know if she's 29 now, but I think she's 28. She's 28. I think Tian is like 28, 29. And they're not married. So, I mean, and there's a lot of people that I see a lot, more and more, they're like, I'm not getting married right away. It's just like, the old homemaker thing where woman got out of graduated school, she raised the kids and all these other things, and yeah, I know a guy who's got a couple of kids with his wife from from her former marriage, from her husband who was, so she's a widower, her husband died. And he treats them just like his kids. I mean, they were babies when they were young, like 1 and 2 years old. And they don't hit him up, they work. And this is one of the things, I mean, both my kids are working now. In fact, Alex has to go to work today. That's how I was taught. You got to provide something, some service, something to make your money. They want to get married after they've ridden the dick carousel and gotten all the money and benefits out of the men. Then when they hit the wall, they want to settle down and get married. Well, so I don't find anything wrong with that. I don't find anything wrong with that at all. Whatever. The only thing I find a little bit to be a little bit too much if they're slutty to the point of where they're sleeping with a different guy every day. That's a bit much. She's racked up the 6-digit numbers in guys. I mean, really, let me tell you something. People give me shit for being married, and I get a little bit of shit, but I really don't give a shit because it's not like I married somebody who's a leech. I don't leech off my wife. She don't leech off of me. We have our own way of dealing with each other that seems to work. We've been married for a long time, and I'm very proud of her for doing what she's done so far, and What more do you want? You want to not be proud of your wife? You want to have your wife laying around the house just, cleaning the floor and cleaning the dust? There are guys that's what they want. That's all they want. They want their wife to cook and clean and raise the kids, and I understand. But that wasn't me. I didn't want that, Not that she doesn't do it, she does it. But that wasn't all I wanted. That's what I mean. Gennaro, how much longer till you come over here? You gotta take a little 2-week vacation here or something. You would become part of that unless the parents are able to stand on their own. That's the thing. I mean, even before we had our kids, we started a little savings plan. We didn't put much in, but we put money in every single month. And that's been for 22, 23 years. It's just something, and the thing is I want to know, I'm probably going to go first. I would, that's kind of how it should work out unless something happens. But, if I go first, that's fine. I know my wife and kids they're fine. They're going to be okay. You can't take a vacation? How old are you, fire dude? This is really good. Too good. I see. Thai women, yeah, especially the Thai women from poor families, from really poor families. They really do, the burden is on them. I mean, they get a ton of shit if they don't send what their family thinks is enough money. And that might be, they might have, a father that's a complete drunk or a drug addict, or he's in jail or something like that. And the mother, she doesn't do shit. And, 5,000-10,000 baht a month isn't enough. They might think, oh, well, if you're not sending me 25,000-30,000 baht a month home, then, you're shit. Which is sad. It's another reason, and I've said this before, oh man, if you're getting involved if you're getting in a serious relationship with somebody, with a woman here, or in the Philippines, or anywhere else, make sure that they can take care of themselves, Well, dude, I've been here for almost 30 years. What does it matter about? I don't give a shit about women back in my own country, and I got plenty of trim when I was young. I didn't have any problems. In fact, I had a girlfriend before I moved here, and I dumped her ass. So, and I don't think it has to, for most guys, I don't think it has anything to do with them not being enough. I think they've gotten to be a pain in the ass, and it's a risky proposition to get married with them, especially if you're more successful than they are. Yeah, exactly, Daldo. I'm really past that, you know. Been there, done that many times over. You know, sowed my oats. Okay, you're not a dude. It doesn't matter. My answer is still the same. For a lot of men now, they view getting married as a risky proposition in the United States. And I've been here for almost 30 years, so I mean, like, what women are in the United States to me now, I don't really even give a shit about the United States anymore. Aside from that, I'm born there and I have family and friends there. Other than that, and I don't care about women. I couldn't care less. You know. And of course, there are plenty of good women in the United States. I'm not saying that. But I think in some ways, from what I hear, I don't know because I haven't lived there, men in the United States are more, I don't know if they're allowing themselves, if it's just happening or whatever it is, but they're emasculated more and more. And I think now they're starting to realize, hey, what the hell's going on here? The smart guys are starting to wake up. And, you know, again, not that there's not a lot of very happily married people, but you just look at the divorce rates. Alpharetta, where are you now? Are you still in the Philippines or where are you? Well, I can appreciate that. I mean, what the hell are you working for to have some guy tell you what to do and tell you how you're going to do things and what you should do, what you shouldn't do? I don't have, my wife doesn't rely on me and I don't rely on my wife. Now, we rely on each other. You know, we have certain things that certain goals and certain things that we pay for together, but, you know, other than that, that's it. And one of the biggest things that I say, if some guy's going to get involved with a girl here, why wouldn't he want to be with a woman who's self-sufficient? I mean, there are some guys that, you know, they all they want to do is travel around. And, you know, they're retired, they want to travel, they want to, whatever, they want to stay at home for 2 weeks and then go travel somewhere. Okay, I understand that you want your woman to be free, you don't want her to be working, but she's got to have something going on. To me, she kind of got, you know, I don't know, if you have met her, if you had met her, let's say that you both got married, you were both 30 years old, now you're both 64. And, you know, you're both traveling around. Okay, I understand that. You work together a long time to get to where you are, and you're living your life together. Okay. If you're some guy who's 65 and the girl is 35, the girl is 55 or something like that, and, you know, you just met her and you want somebody so you're not lonely, well, okay, I understand it. Of course I do. But there's inevitably a power struggle, a little bit of a power struggle because, you know, like the saying goes, the man with the gold makes the rules. Well, I mean, honestly, I really don't understand why, other than those scenarios, I don't understand. I mean, if you're some guy, I don't know where Andrew is, if he's listening now or what, but you're some 35-year-old guy, and you got some little farm girl who doesn't do anything. What's she gonna do? She's gonna raise your kids and always be wondering how much money she has? Then in that kind of a scenario, I would say, hey, Corey, how you doing, man? I was wondering how you're doing. In that scenario, I would say, you know, what do you expect if she asked you for Sin Sod, or a family asked for Sin Sod? You don't want her to work. Just like the Israeli guy who said, oh, I'm going to bring the Israeli girl all the way over. And that was years ago. I want to bring her over, and she's going to cook and clean and raise the kids. And I said, well, so, you know, you're going to give her money so she has money? What if out of her family needs some money? Are you going to help her that way? No. Well, then what the hell is she supposed to live off of? Well, all her expenses are paid. You know, like, that's enough. It's not, you know. Where are you, Corey? Are you in Taiwan? Are you still in Thailand or what? You still married? What's going on? PJ, if you're a barista, stay away from Gennaro. That's for sure. Gennaro is the barista hunter. Oh man, my head is killing me right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we got 44 people watching. We had almost 50. You know, I haven't been streaming as regularly. The numbers have been down coincidentally because of that. They tend to be a little higher when I'm streaming every day, but there's only 26 thumbs up. What gives, man? Do me a favor, that's free. Just click on the thumbs up. And if you want to, subscribe. See what's up, you know? Subscribe and keep apprised of the situation and what's going on, where I am, what I'm doing. Smash that like button. Thank you for subscribing, PJ. Appreciate it. Hey, don't forget, you can get yourself a shirt. To those out there who are interested, just go to AmericanInBangkok.com. I think I got 12 shirts up now. Women have this problem where they think that their money means something to us. Money means something to females. It doesn't mean anything to males. They're trying to act like we care about money. Yeah, you know, there is that perception that, well, there's a difference in the way that I think women view money and men view money. All right, Jim, take it easy. Don't work too hard. Take a break from working on your house. You know, for the most part, like, I could live in a little bungalow on the beach, you know, and just have a little bit of money, and you know, my needs are met, and you know, I'm eating. I've got a roof over my head. I got a little cash in my pocket. That's fine for me. But for a lot of women, they're like, and you know, you see this. It's all over the internet now. It's all over on YouTube. They have all these shows that it's nothing but talking about women and how greedy women are and all that kind of stuff. And I think, you know, you take that with a grain of salt, because for all the greedy women out there are greedy men, and for all the greedy women out there are women that are not greedy at all, and they're willing to work hard for their money. So, I think I said it before, the hottest Starbucks burrito ever is at Bangkok Hospital ground floor. There you go. There you have at it, Gennaro. I've seen extremely hot women in not only in Starbucks, but I've seen uncountable numbers in various coffee shops. So still married, all right. Good for you, man. Hua Hin. I was Longhorns and I were in Hua Hin. I don't know, 6 months ago. I don't know how long it's been, but a little while ago with Mr. Patia Bob, who I did see the other day, and I was going to have breakfast with, and it just didn't work out. But yeah, I just want a competent barista. If it's a woman that's pretty, a bonus. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, like for me, I don't really. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a bonus. I tell you one thing I don't like, and I'm sorry to say this, but it's true. When I walk up, the last thing I want to do is see some little petite guy standing there going, "Can I take your order, please?" I don't want to see that. I would much rather see a nice-looking girl smiling. "Hi, can I take your order? You know, what would you like today?" But I'm a guy, and you know. So, anyway, let me see here. That would be beer. Okay. Okay, so this guy says about Sin Sod, he says, it's really about what you can afford. And that is true because, you know, for some guys, they're like, listen, this chick she seems to be a gem to me. She's a gem of a girl. Her mother and father are poor. I can see that. I know they're poor. Now, I'm extremely rich. I'm worth, you know, $100 million. Well, let's not go that far. I'm worth $3 million. I got money. I got no concerns. I'm earning money every day. And, you know, it's no big deal for me to drop a couple grand. So, you know, you say to the girl, listen, I'm going to give him 500,000 baht. Is that enough? Well, okay. You give them 500,000 baht, and you set it up to where there's an automatic transfer of 30,000 baht a month for like the rest of their lives. Guys will do that, and that's because they got the money, and it's a drop in the bucket to them, and they don't care. They don't have the attitude like, oh, well, I'm not giving them shit. Listen, if had my wife's mother said you need to pay. I would have been scrambling to scrape together all the money that I needed, and I would have paid it, you know, because I knew she was legit. But, you know, fortunately that didn't happen. I mean, as far as choosing a mate, modern women today are trying to lead with their wallets, and we don't care about that. We care about how you look and if you take care of us. Well, yeah, but I mean, with regards to like a Thai woman, I think that guys need to remember, man, that like, okay, it's good to take care of your lady. It's good to be able to tell her, oh yeah, you can stay home, or you just go to the gym. Or that doesn't happen a lot of times. That's why Thai men work, Thai women work. And, you know, women are here tend to be different than in the West, but in many ways. You know, I think that you run into these issues when you date out of your league. Men and women that have these issues, then people that don't qualify for it, and when they get hurt, that's it. Well, I mean, that's always something. I mean, you know, you don't see some girl who's somebody like Bai Fern, who's a TV or a movie actress, and she's a star, and she's all over billboards, she's filthy rich. You don't see her hooking up with her boyfriend is not the guy who just started working at McDonald's as a fry cook. But that doesn't happen in America. You know, generally those kind of things do not happen. You know, the issue comes when it's, you know, you are subservient to them. They're your boss or something like that. Then that's a big issue, especially here. And, you know, some of this might have to do, I don't know because I haven't lived in the U.S. for so long, but from what I hear, a lot of this has to do with men being either afraid or they're unwilling or they just won't man up. They won't be men. And they go, listen, I'm a man And if you don't like that, this is how I am. And if you don't want to take me as I am, then don't take me. I'll find somebody else. I'm not simping for a monthly family payment. Well, I don't know that I look at it as simping. I really believe it depends on the situation and the circumstances of the family and of you and your girl and all these other kind of things. This is why find a chick who has a job, or she has some kind of a value, and I'm not talking about just the thing that's between her legs, because that's a dime a dozen. I'm not talking about the triangle. She's breathing. She's out of my league. I can only marry up. Oh, God. I don't know. I mean, listen. You can start out. They could be a student, a barista, whatever. But generally, if they have any ambition at all, they're going to try to work their way up the ladder. They don't. Most of them don't. You're not going to see some 60-year-old barista here. The triangle tribulations. An American in Bangkok t-shirt. I think I only have a few more. I have about 3 or 4 more shirts to put up on the website. Which ones do I have? I got this one that comes in multicolors. I got the white shirt that comes with the American in Bangkok in blue. I got the American in Bangkok in the center of the shirts as a circle. I got it as a square. I got the Captain Save-A-Ho shirt, which is the most popular shirt. I got the I don't hate people, I just feel better when they're not around, which I love. I got Making Orwell Fiction again, which happens to be a pretty popular shirt. All things considered, I'm surprised that many people have been buying it. But Recovering Chowderhead, I got the Spartan, I got the Wake Up Chowderhead, and I got the Polo American in Bangkok shirt. Plus I got some hats up, and I got a bunch of other stuff going up. So anyway, let me see what else this guy's got to say. Let's close this out. Here's I like this. Give exactly what you can afford and not 1 cent more. If your wife won't support you, find another wife. I'm not against Sin Sod, but when the family shows no care towards your future, then if your wife doesn't support you, she's not the one for you. The problem with finding another wife or another chick is, honestly, I can see, when you're young. How did I say this? I told this to Jono a while ago. When you're young, you'll hook up with anybody, damn near anybody. If you like the way they look, you'll hook up with them. And then you find out, this chick's a bitch, or she's a smoker, or I didn't know it, but she's into the yaba, or she's into she's into meth, or whatever it might be, or she's a gambler, whatever it might be. As you get older, you realize, hey, she looks great, but she's got tons of issues. And unless you want a quick piece of ass, you rule them out as somebody who you want to get involved with. Which, that said, I will say this. A lot of guys coming to Thailand, they don't want to find a girlfriend or to get married. And sometimes what happens is they're the old man with a younger chick, and you can say what you want about them, but they're banging young trim when they're 70 years old, and you're not. Whatever makes you happy. The vicissitudes of the vajayjay. I like to think of it as the vajayjay victories. Trials and tribulations of the Bermuda Triangle, all named after triangles. What's her name? Bermuda? Oh, God. Listen, I hate to say this, okay? You know damn well, if one of you guys were to hook up with one of these lovely baristas here, Preo, Beer, the artist formerly known as Tian, who is no longer here, or any of these girls, you know that, you're not going to have some kind of relationship that is 100% trouble-free. It's not going to happen. There's going to be issues. And one of the things, and I've said this before, and I've said it a million times, guys don't listen. Let's say that you don't want to get involved. Okay. You may lose some trim. You may lose some good women. You may lose all kinds of things. Because you just flat out say, and I have said this before, when I first came here, I used to say, I don't want a girlfriend, I don't want a wife, I just want girls to have fun with. And I meant, I just want girls to have a little slap and tickle with, a little roll in the hay. And some girls didn't like that. They'd be like, yeah. But I was being honest. And what I was told when I came here was be honest with them. They'll appreciate that. And some did, some didn't. Some were like, you're a pig. But most didn't say that. They just didn't like it. But don't let yourself get sucked in. And then you're like, oh, what do I do? Oh, and now she wants to get married. What am I going to do? And I guess Andrew is not listening, but don't come here and just get married for the visa. Jesus Christ. Because Farang have money too much. Sin Sod how much? I was thinking about it the other day, as I sometimes do. I mean, listen, you got a good-looking girl. She's sweet. She's nice. She seems smart. She's funny. And, you like having a little fun with each other. And it seems to work well. Everything works quite well. How is it, it's easy to think, wow, this could be something special. But the truth is, for most guys who come here, they don't even speak the freaking language. A lot of the girls, they don't speak English, especially if you're meeting them, out at clubs and they're on the fence, they're not really a straight up hoe, but they're kind of like looking for a sponsor, or they're looking for a long-term payout, or they're looking for a husband. A lot of them, they don't speak much English. So what kind of communication are you going to have? How are you going to communicate with mama, who might not speak a word of English, when you don't speak a word of Thai, and maybe you don't even understand any Thai? I mean, why would you do that? That's why I always go, wait at least a year, learn some of the language. Don't move to Pattaya as your first place to live. Unless you've been here for a while, or you've come here. What I mean is, unless you've been coming here for a while. If you've been coming here for a while, hey, Dallo, take it easy, man. Let me know if you want to get together sometime. Just let me know. Send me a message, whatever. But enjoy yourself, and I'm sure we'll talk again. It's the same old shit over and over again. And this is why it doesn't take a rocket science to figure this out. If you're a newbie, okay, run to Pattaya if you want to. Go get all the tail you want. Although right now I just read that there's over 1 million Indians that have come into the country so far. They are the big demographic right now in Pattaya. So, if you want to go there, have your fun. And remember, it's business. It's business. Let me say that properly. it's business. You don't have to, fall in love and promise her the world and go back to America and, send her $1,000 every month. And oh my God, I don't want you working in the bar, baby. You don't have to do all that. Don't be a numbskull. Don't be a chowderhead. Don't be a knucklehead, whatever. Go and have your fun and go back home. Then, if you decide to come back, if you decide, okay, it's time to move here, go a couple of places. You don't have to go a lot of places, but go a few places. Pick out 3 places that you really are interested in. And, and then make a determination of where the best place to go is. If you're going to go to Pattaya, I would say go after you've made the determination that it fits you the best. It's somewhere that you really want to go. I know a lot of guys that they live over on the dark side. They don't get involved in the nightlife aside from maybe going out with their friends once in a while, just having a good time, but they don't really get involved in it. And I would say if you haven't been coming here for a while and you don't know the ropes and you don't speak the language, fuck, man. Just go there and have your fun. Don't come to find love. No need. Matang lui. So it's really, I say these things all the time, but it's amazing that guys they just do whatever the hell they want, and they just, and that's, I understand. I'm not saying you got to take my word as the gospel, but I would say at least take it into consideration and really think about it, because there are some guys, they are just idiots. They have, over the years I have talked to some guys and I'm like, this guy just doesn't get it. This is not your country. This is not your culture. And if you come here for a couple of months, you don't understand it. You don't know shit. And I said it the other day, like with boxing, like I forgot who it was, Roger Mayweather or Floyd Mayweather. I think it was Roger Mayweather. I can't remember, but they were in a skit with Kevin Hart, and they're like, most people don't know shit about boxing. Well, most people don't know shit about getting involved with a Thai girl that have just come here for a matter of, they've come here for a month and all of a sudden they think they know everything and they're ready to get married. That's just stupid. Hey there, Carlos. How you doing? Oh, isn't this special? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. Good deal, man. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the order. Getting late here in California. Ratri Sawat crap. Very polite. Indians notorious for group pricing. That's gonna, I came here for vacation for 2 weeks and meet girl of my dream. I love her and give her everything. And, listen, I gotta say this. And this is why I say, just take what I have to say into consideration. And most of the guys here, they're regulars, or they've been around the block once or twice, or they've been to Thailand a few times, and they know, okay, it can happen. You can meet the go-go girl of your dream. You can meet a bar girl. You can come for a week and meet a girl. You can fall in love and everything's going to work out. You're married for 28,000 years now. You got 48 kids and things worked out fantastically. You're both filthy rich. That shit happens. But you know what? If I was a gambling man, I would say the odds are very low. You're like a you're like a 1,000 to 1 underdog to hit that kind of relationship. So, you know. Now, this is something I didn't think of and I didn't know about. I really didn't even think of this. I don't know why. But there are people who will loan Sin Sod amounts. Let's say you need to come up with 300,000 baht. There are people who will loan the 300,000 baht, and either you have to pay it back in a certain period of time, like a loan shark, or they will loan it for the day, and then you have to pay, maybe it's 300,000 baht, you got to pay them 5,000 baht, something like that. And that they may have a representative at your wedding to make sure no one takes off with the money. So that's something else to think about. She loved me too much, but have buffalo sick and papa broke leg and cannot work, so I have to send money. Send money every month, sure. I'm send big money. Every month I'm send 50,000. But me, I'm live in apartment 1,500 baht only. Yes, I see photo of her hugging man, but she say her cousin. Neil need bail money to get her brother out of jail. I told this story a little while ago, but when I first came here and I was running around in the bars and stuff like that, I met this one girl. She was my friend. I met this one girl, and I just remember she had, rather large breastises, and she was a nice-looking girl, but very shy, very, reserved most of the time. And I think I was with her one day, and then the next day we went to Nana, and she was working as a dancer. And, I paid, and she came over and sat with me. And then the next thing I know, there's this guy sitting next to her, and she's like, my brother. And, of course, I was like, oh, your brother. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And then I thought, what the fuck? I'm like, so her brother comes to hang out with her at the... And I was like, okay, whatever, I was like, I already had her, he probably had her every night, I don't know, but, all men in Thailand, her family. Well, Thai men bad. They're very bad. Don't ever believe that either. It's just not true. So how many would like to see shorter streams, like 1 hour streams? I'm curious. I should put that up on the what is it? Community tabs on my channel. She says she have Thai man before, but he no good and like drink too much. He not take care and boxing she all the time. Oh, now you're getting it, Carlos. You're really getting it. Boxing me. What I used to like is there was one girl that I knew. She would go, oh, he always mouth boxing with me. I'm like, mouth boxing? Like, what the fuck is mouth boxing? Oh my God. That was hilarious. Him mouth boxing with me all the time. Oh, God. Boxing she, boxing me. There is part of me that would like to get a couple of these of the regular baristas and go out with a couple of guys. I could take my wife, but go out with a couple single guys and break out the tequila and see just how many of the falsehoods fall away, or how much of the bullshit starts being thrown forward. I like those kind of sociological experiments. I think that would be quite funny. Let's see here. Is this what I'm looking for? Anyway, the other thing is that if there's one thing, I always say, oh, be honest, smile. But you know what? One thing that was said to me a long time ago, and my wife will say it to me now, even every once in a while. Don't think too much, and don't be. She doesn't usually say don't think too much, but she'll say something like, "Why are you being so serious? You don't need to be so serious about this." Keep everything lighthearted, man. Most of the time you're dealing with some chick. It's not the end of the world. It's not the big, it's not big problem. 3 days of heavy rain here and the rice fields are flooded. Yeah, it's been raining here. I was saying it's been raining here every day. And now it's starting to look, you can't really tell from here, but it's starting to get very cloudy. Clouds are starting to get a little bit darker. And, it will rain later on, and I like that. Let me tell you something. What's today, Tuesday? There's nothing better than in the late afternoon, I'll either have a cup of coffee or I'll have my dinner. I'm talking about 5 o'clock or so. I'll have a nice dinner, sit there, relax. Around 6 o'clock, I turn the TV on. It's pouring rain. I'm sitting there. It's raining. Nothing's going on. People aren't driving around. There's not a lot of noise because people don't want to be out. I love that. Love it. Yeah, you're serious too much. And I think, it's not about don't think too much. It's really don't overthink. Sometimes you overthink something. Hey, if the Sin Sod ain't gonna work out, it ain't gonna work out. If the mother doesn't want to negotiate, she's not gonna negotiate no matter what you do. So why keep beating yourself up or trying to negotiate with your wife and fight with her and do all this other kind of, your wife, it sounds so funny. I'm negotiating with my wife on her Sin Sod. You're supposed to do that before you get married. We have a tin, so it's like a hot tin roof. Yeah, I like that. I just love the rain here. But I'll be completely honest. We all love our house that we have right now. But it is an old house and it is getting older every day. It's like an old man or let's say an old woman. It's like an old woman who is at the end of her best years. She's far past them, but she's really getting to the end of the time when she's as spry as she used to be, and now she's hobbling around. Well, that's the house. The house is hobbling around now. And we've wanted to move for a long time, but I sure hope, I have complete faith in my wife. She's always found good places that were reasonably priced and nice, and I'm really looking forward to getting into a place where I don't have to worry about the roof is leaking, Nicholas is clogging up the toilet. Now that might happen at any place, but the water pressure might be low every once in a while at the house, so you know, so I'm looking forward to that. We're all looking forward to that. And I'm personally, one of the caveats is I don't want to be around a lot of people. And I can tell you that even here in Bangkok now, I don't see that many foreigners, and that's not even what it is. It's just I feel like a little ant. I'm in the colony. Every time I go out, it's like there's always little ants around me, and I have relatively little privacy. The only privacy I get is in my house, and you know, when things are quiet, which tends to be early in the morning and later at night. Remember, Scott, this Thailand, oh, freestyle. Freestyle, oh yeah. ไม่ใช่ my spec. When I think about all the... Somebody should make a rap song or some kind of a song where they do nothing but, you know, oh, my buffalo's sick. I don't care because me, I freestyle. You know, that kind of thing. They put together some kind of song with all the little... Never mind. Never mind. ไม่เป็นไร สบาย You freestyle. Oh, you know happy. You put together a whole song from all the phrases. Anyway, let's see. Is there anything else here? Oh, here's another one. You're stuck, brother. You're going to need to find your negotiating skills. There you go. No joke. Negotiate what you're willing to accept, and that is 3,000 pounds. I was in your same situation 4 years ago. What I found out was basically 2 dowries. I was aghast. I was prepared for 1, but 2? We had a pre-wedding ceremony in the village for which I presented each to mom and dad 1 baht of gold. Then on wedding day, we presented 400,000 baht for the dowry presentation. But with careful negotiations, with my wife back to the mom, we agreed to get back 250,000, and the mom and dad kept another 150,000. So I just paid about $4,000. Gold was a lot cheaper back then. And gold is sometimes included in the Sin Sod. So he had to pay it at the pre-wedding ceremony. Sometimes they'll put it up with at the wedding. They'll just put it on a big platter, a gold platter, with the money. I hate don't think too much. Okay, when I fuck up, you don't think too much. I like don't speak too much. That's my go-to. Hey, don't speak too much. Or when I see Sid running around going crazy like yesterday, he found a little crumpled up piece of paper, and you know, he was swatting it, and then he would jump up and spin around in the air. And I said, Sid, what you do? I actually did say that. I was like, what you do? And I was saying, what the hell am I saying? You know, they shorten everything. Espresso, like hot espresso, instead of espresso lawn. No, S-lawn. My spec, my specifications, you know. So that, you know, they want to they want to speak as little as possible. They want everything to be, you know. Gennaro, I'm gonna tell Beer that you're willing to pay 1 million baht for a dowry. She'd probably still tell you to fuck off. What they like is their freedom. They like to be able to do whatever they want and go to whoever they want. All right, we got anything else here? We're running out of time here. The original poster just needs to find out what the real deal is, as if it is a face thing, of the mom wanting to show big money and then give it back, or is she really asking for it? Another point is there going to be a celebration dinner party afterwards where the mother is the guest of honor? Jesus Christ. You're the guest of honor because she popped out of your vagina. What sort of wedding will it be? The last Thai wedding I was at had rented a convention center for the reception. I gave a present of a couple thousand baht in an extra envelope, and yes, everyone is expected to give, or hopefully give something as little cash in a situation like that. Where or as like what area is the mom living, and from may have another insight into her demands and her real intentions. Technically speaking, you are married already and only need to register it here in Thailand, and your wife is pregnant. So is it all a misunderstanding, or is it totally off the wall and a money grab that will not be returned? I think it's a money grab. I have been married twice to Thai gals, paid only once, but for the first one, in the end, I would have paid again just to get her out of my life if I had to. Good luck, but you seem to have some loose end questions to figure out. By the way, why is the wife's sister always having to get money sent to her? Is this a bad rotten egg? Unless COVID has come into play and she is generally in need of help to live. So in the end, you establish the family's financial situation. You determine how much your earnings are likely to be attracted to their needs. Decide how much, if anything, you're prepared to give in support. The key to all this is your Thai wife. It's her family and culture. Dowries are not part of your culture. What does it say in a relationship where a man has to accommodate a more regressive culture to your own? Is there a conflict, or do you suspect this problem will not go away? And I'm afraid the choice is to cut them off or find a new partner in life. Good luck to you both. That's about it. If I paid a Sin Sod, if they all agreed, I didn't have to take part in the pre-wedding, middle, and end ceremony. Listen, I gotta tell you, one of the reasons that my wife and I didn't do anything big in the wedding is because neither of us wanted to be in front of a whole bunch of people. You may not believe this, but when it comes to things like that, I'm just shy, man. I don't want to be seen kissing my wife in front of all kinds of people. I don't want to be standing there looking lovingly in her eyes. All that shit is very personal. I mean, it's not the same as, you're dealing with some chick and it's like, I'm so drunk. Oh my God, man, I'm wasted. Look at her, she's beautiful. And she's a 2. She's a 2, and you're swearing she's the, next Farrah Fawcett or something like that. We were both very shy about that kind of stuff. And a lot of Thais they're very shy about, like they're out in public, man. The public displays of affection, it's one thing if you're like at the airport and you give a little peck goodbye or something like that. That might be acceptable to some Thai women, but to some, even going out and just like putting your arms around each other, that's a big deal here. The younger ones, they don't care as much, but we were just like, we already know what our relationship is. We don't need other people to vouch for us, to confirm our relationship. We didn't need any of that. And that's the thing. I hate to say, oh, well, if the girl won't accept you, if the girl's mother won't accept you and won't accept the money, then you just have to tell your wife, well, it's her or me. That's a terrible situation to put your potential wife, or your wife in this case. That's a terrible situation to be put in for her. I wouldn't want that for anybody. But bottom line is, my wife told me once, she said, just because I'm doing fairly well, just because we are better off than them. And I think this is how some of the more modern thinking, they may not be, young, they may be older, but modern thinking, where they think like, listen, we've worked hard to get to where we are. And life is a struggle. We got a family to support and everything like that. Just because somebody wants some drinking money doesn't mean that you have to throw it to them because they're part of the family. I got married in Singapore. We still haven't done the village marriage show. F that. I understand. I don't want to do it just because I don't want to be in front of the whole village. I'm like, we'll do, yeah, we're getting married. I didn't want to do that. And I don't want to do it I don't want to do it. I just don't want it. Why? It's between me and her. Our marriage is between us. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very private thing between two people. And this is the thing. I was listening to some podcast or something where they were talking about transgenders and what people think of them and how hard it is and all these other kind of things. And what I'm always amazed at is, I don't give a shit what goes on between my friends and their girlfriends or their wives behind closed doors. I don't care. Who knows what they're doing? I don't really care. That's their business. The same with, it doesn't matter if it's same sex, if it's some kind of transgender thing, whatever. I don't care. What do you really care about? We're not living in medieval times where, the whole village is sitting around listening to the wife get nailed at night, and they're all talking about it, and she's got the demons in her. That is not going on nowadays, or at least it shouldn't be. And if it is, that's their problem, not yours. I think there's way too much of that, and I think in Thailand there is still the prevailing attitude that you have to show things. You have to show people. And one of the things I would say is that when you come to Thailand, if you got a Rolex, don't fucking wear it here. Wear a little Casio. Wear a whatever, a Timex. Wear something. Wear a Seiko. Whatever it is. So wear something that's reasonably priced. Don't wear some $10,000, $15,000 watch. Don't wear some bling. Don't wear diamond earrings that are real diamonds. Don't be wearing $4,000 suits. There's no reason for it. Maybe on a rare occasion, if you're in that kind of a group of people, that's your lifestyle. Okay, maybe I would understand it. But for the most part, that's not this country. This is not Hollywood. You can wear a halfway decent shirt. You can wear a collared shirt. You can wear, reasonably looking clothing. And you're fine here. You don't stand out. You wear a pair of jeans and a nice shirt, a collared shirt, you're fine. Now if you walk around like the one guy, I forget what the hell his name is, he walks around in Bath flip-flops all the time, ratty-ass t-shirt, and ratty-ass shorts with holes in them, but he's in Bath flip-flops, like the little 59-cent flip-flops. 59 cents, not 59 baht. All right, you're showing yourself for what you are then, Somebody who don't give a fuck about what other people are thinking. Anyway. I think this stream has run its course. This is 2 hours and 16 minutes now. So while I would like to keep yapping away, I think it's time to say goodbye. So, Interesting. It's always interesting talking about women and money. Yeah, here's just one last thing here. There are many warning signs in your original post that while the wife is wonderful, her family are far from it. You got to get to know the family, because if you're marrying her, you're marrying the family. Set those boundaries. Anyway, yeah, I'm starting to drone on. How many times we got to talk about this? You know, over and over and over again, we yap and yap and yap. Hey, thanks there, Beeson. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll be back. Hopefully, let me see here. Let me see, I can figure this out here. I enjoyed that. Thanks and goodbye. Have a great day. Well, you too. Thank you for joining us. I wore my Sky Dweller there for years. Nobody even notices. I am a t-shirt guy, shorts and flip-flops. Except for the watch. Yeah, the only thing I say about the flip-flops is, you know, if you're going to wear flip-flops, at least wear halfway decent flip-flops. Don't wear the little shitty. I mean, if you're walking, you know, you're walking like 3 doors down to get some eggs or something. That's one thing. But if you're like going out, I would suggest you don't wear the cheap shower flip-flops. Those are not very good. But what was I going to say here? There's one last thing I wanted to say, if I can remember. Probably not. Anyway, thanks for the shirt order, and also thanks Beeson, appreciate it. And oh, I know what I was going to say. Today is the 31st. It looks like. Oh, I think Chucky will be here on Monday of next week, and I'll see him on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So we will meet up. I told him I wanted to meet up at the same place that has the caramel.
American in Bangkok.
Yes. How are you?
I'm one of your subscribers.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Mr. Tim.
Mr. Tim.
No, Mitty Tim.
Huh?
Mitty Tim.
Okay. All right. How you doing, man?
Good.
All right. So he'll be here. I think he arrives on Monday, and we'll meet up on Tuesday or Wednesday. So we were going to go to that place where we had the fantastic cheesecake, the caramel cheesecake. But I've been cutting back on that kind of thing. I don't want to be eating that kind of stuff, even though I had a salted caramel today. I don't want to be eating that stuff, so it's kind of doubtful we'll meet at that place. But we will meet up. We'll have a nice chat with him, see what it was like for him to get over here, and maybe I'll meet up with Dowlo. I don't know, but I probably will stream. I don't know, Friday or Saturday, something like that. So, thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate it, and I guess I'll just talk to you guys next time. I'll see you when I see you. So until next time, yes, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Get yourself a t-shirt. Pick it up now. Get yourself a t-shirt. And I will see you when I see you. Till next time, Chok Di Leo Jerken Mai. That's good luck and see you later.